All right, getting back to John Hope Bryant's business plan for America. Point number 3 is racism doesn't work. Financially, racism is a very poor financial choice for the country. Black men, pay attention to this. Our states and cities, and for our families themselves. According to a 2020 Citigroup report, racism and bias against blacks alone for the 20-year period from 2000 to 2020 alone cost the U.S. economy approximately $16 trillion. The Citigroup reported further noted that if we just stop this behavior, the U.S. economy will increase by $5 trillion over the next 5 years, or as much as 4% of additional U.S. GDP on an annualized basis from this one action alone. So I don't know if y'all remember this. Hold on, let me show you something. This is a statement from a report. It says, by focusing on closing the black-white jobs gap, we could add about $30 billion annually to black communities and make a significant reduction in black poverty. So let me tell y'all what happened about a year ago. There were black women on these podcasts saying that black men in the United States are costing us $50 billion because of their unemployment, because their unwillingness to work. Y'all remember that?
Researchers say the rise of joblessness among black men has become a crisis, and its financial impacts are having a ripple effect. According to a new report from the Center for Economic and Policy Research, the toll of unemployed black men is costing the U.S. economy about $50 billion a year. Researchers say black men have consistently had the highest annual unemployment rate for the last 20 years. Well, researchers say the rise of joblessness among black men has become a crisis, and its financial impacts are having a ripple effect. According to
they are the real welfare queens.
Economic and Policy Research,
Literally.
The toll of unemployed black men is costing the U.S. economy about $50 billion a year. Researchers say black men have consistently had the highest annual unemployment rate for the last 20 years.
No resource.
Who's been in these spaces for a while where that was the narrative? Because black men don't want to work, we cost the United States $50 billion because they were saying that the U.S. has to spend that money on black men who are just refusing to work to make sure that they're taken care of. Y'all remember that? But this is where this comes into play. And I want to show you the distinct differences on how the black community reports on this and how other websites report on it. Let me show you. This is from Afrotech. It said, report says that black men cost the economy $50 billion annually. Here's why. Hold on. This is a black website, mind you. And I told you, aware black men, y'all need to separate yourselves because they don't like us. They don't like straight black men. Black men are unemployed at a much higher rate than their counterparts. And it's creating an economic crisis in the country. According to the Atlanta Black Star, black communities take a hit totaling $50 billion annually in costs due to this unemployment crisis. In cost. So they're saying that black men being unemployed, we cost the black community $50 billion. Y'all hear that? And then they quoted, black people need to take this report and take it to their elected official and say, you need to do more because you don't fully realize how big this problem is, says Algernon Austin, who authored the study initially published by the Center for Economic Policy and Research. I'm hoping that this work serves to inspire people and, frankly, particularly black men. And that's just the beginning of the problems. According to Austin, using the data all the way back to 2014, he revealed that black men between the ages of 25 to 54 would have to generate nearly 1 million jobs. We'd have to generate 1 million jobs, 947,000 to be exact, to be on par with their non-black counterparts and close the economic gap. If 1 million then got jobs and kept them, they'd be adding literally billions of dollars to their respective economies doing so. And it goes on to basically try and lead the reader to believe that black men not working, we cost the United States, in particular the black community, $50 billion. So I'm driving this point home so I can bring it home. They're basically saying that the United States has to pay black men $50 billion of free money because of their unwillingness to work. Y'all get that? Okay. This is from the Business Insider. Companies still aren't hiring black men despite 10.6 million open jobs in the US. It's costing the economy $50 billion. So basically what's happening here, black men are more than qualified to work, let's say the million jobs out of the 10.6 million. But racist practices, such as the one that I mentioned from John Holt's Bryant report, is the reason why black men are not getting those jobs. It has nothing to do with black men being lazy and their unwillingness to work. They're not hiring black men. Y'all get that? We're not costing the US economy $50 billion. We're not able to earn $50 billion because they won't hire black men. Do you see how they spread this narrative and try and make it seem like they don't understand what's going on here? And I'm not talking about the Business Insider. I'm talking about the black community. That's how they mislead black women. Because black women were the ones that was running on social media saying this. It is one of the divestors' main talking points. Yes. So I told you y'all going to learn a lot on this. And I'm glad y'all pay attention to these ones. Okay, for months, employers have been saying they can't find people to fill open jobs. One segment of the population, black men, has persistently high unemployment rates. By not hiring them to fill 10.6 million open jobs, companies are partially responsible for $50 billion missing in the economy, a new study says. In the same report that Algernon guy referenced, despite a nationwide cry for workers, businesses aren't hiring black men, and it's costing the country billions of dollars, according to a new study for the Center for Economic and Policy Research. The unemployment rate for black men remains 7.3 in November, and this is from that particular year, compared to 3.4% among white men looking for work. According to the Labor Department, roughly 697,000 black men need employment, even as the country recorded 10.6 million vacant jobs in November. According to a CEPR study, black men are excluded from the workforce due to racist hiring practices, as well as being deleted and imprisoned at higher rates than other groups. And that's why I harp on this point, that it is important to understand and note that black men have decreased their felony conviction rate, are being imprisoned from 1 to 3 to 1 to 5, right? And we've also have lowered our early deletions rates. So with all those things combined, black men improving their standing, being able to be hired at a higher rate, right? This is why what you see black men doing now is nothing short of a miracle in regards to our economic standing. So that's why I tell black men that you're doing just fine based off of the fact that we have so much against us. And you know what? We're still not the lowest earners on average annually. We still earn more than black women. And people are saying that black women are going to get to a point where they're going to out earn black men. No, black men are not going to prison as much. And we're also not deleting ourselves as much as we used to. So that means there's more black men on the job force market. And since these things are being brought to the light with those, many jobs being open and how many black men are looking for jobs, we're going to do nothing but improve. So all of that against black men, and we still found a way to persevere. We still found a way to get married at a higher rate. I mean, come on. This is the type of stuff that the black community needs to be listening to. This doesn't just hurt black men and their families and communities. CEPR estimates that the lost income from racial discrimination costs the overall U.S. economy $50 billion a year. So and that's key right there. The lost income. Nobody's spending $50 billion on black men because they're unemployed. Black women who hate black men. No, it's not able to be earned because they're not hiring black men for those particular reasons. Y'all dumbasses. I wanted to show y'all something else real quick. Just to put things into perspective for black women to see how much preferential treatment that y'all get. You see this here? This is from the same report. In tight labor markets, black women's rate of employment equals white women's. Ain't that crazy? Look at that. So the green there is black women, and the lightest color is white women. It's somewhat on par. So black women are able to get employment no matter what. Black men aren't afforded those same options. And y'all got the nerve to sit there and try and look down on us when we're able to persevere through all the things that's against us. Man, I don't listen to all that foolery that people be talking about. Get out of here with that bullshit, man. Past 20 years, we've had the highest unemployment rates. Black men. Black women come in second, and then so on and so forth. And black men have still been able to persevere through all of this.